Hello, welcome to the Work in Progress podcast. I'm Daniel, and that's Adam. And today we're going to be working on page 11.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna start chipping away at page 11. I'm just kind of bouncing around right now. I'm doing page 61. So, but it's progress nonetheless, regardless whether I do it in order or not. So,
Yeah, this is one of the pages that I resketched because the older models you were using were
dog
little
shit.
dookie. Yeah,
They were just dog shit. Let's just say.
well, we're working on it. We're working on it. Damn it.
We're working on it. But yeah, no. It's been sort of all fun and games, honestly. So, but yeah, a little update in regards to what happened last episode. I've got over my little video game spat, so I'm not being a bit of a whiny bitch baby as I used to be.
Yeah, you realize that if it's a game that doesn't suck.
Well, you know what I think it is, and I think you was actually onto something last time. Is I think that I think all the modern popular games right now are kind of sporty in nature, and I fucking hate sports. I despise sports. So I think what it was, I realized that all this modern shit battle royales and your shitty hero shooters, they're all just after we talked about it, I was like, oh my fucking god, these are kind of like sports games when I think about it, and I fucking hate sports. Huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, take that for what you will.
See, a little philosophy can go a long way.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I've been having moments throughout this year where I keep saying stuff that almost is what I like to call accidentally philosophical, where I'll say something and it sounds kind of deep, even though I didn't think about it. I remember I was having a friend do something, and I told him, "Hey, listen, I want you to do this. I want you to make the message abundantly clear within the image itself, because." And this is something I've learned from experience, and I'm sure a lot of younger people probably agree to this, but because people don't have attention spans anymore, they can't read. So I said to a friend of mine when I was asking him to do something, I says, I want you to put this text in the middle, because the reason why is because whilst people have eyes, they have no vision. And he kind of laughed at that, because he was like, that's weirdly philosophical. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't even trying. I just generally think that people can't see what's in front of them because they don't look. So,
Well, yeah.
Take that for what you will.
I don't even think that that's a new thing. I think that that's just, people.
It's always, here's the thing, it's always been a thing, but I think it's worse now because you got your phones, you got your iPhones, you got your shorts in what have you, and just people just mindlessly scroll. I mean, I'm gonna sound like an old man, but I don't give a shit because that's how I feel. So
I mean, a lot of people will make this argument, but you forget that TV had the cooking and the really cringe Jesus channels, and there was that era in the early 2000s where TV broadcasting had a billion channels.
yes.
And you only actually really saw 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it was a time period where you could just, to get to what you really want to watch, you ended up watching a lot of garbage.
Well, yeah, and if you're a little kid who can't tell the time, you might have to watch, if you was a little kid who wanted to watch the cartoons, you don't really know how to grasp the time, so then you might have to watch some fucking ballerina cartoon just to get to Tasmania, so.
No, I think, honestly, I think that my timekeeping skills were better when I was a kid because you couldn't just summon the episode that you wanted.
It wasn't my case, I'm afraid. So it was
Also, my fandom for something was entirely hinged on the fact of if I liked it enough, I would pop in a VHS and then record the episode.
Well, I mean, I did that when I got a little bit older too, but still, you were still not victim. You were still what's the fucking word when you gotta just wait for it. But anyway, you just have to wait for it to come on either way. So even if you want to record it, so.
God, that, or if it's a show like Avatar: The Last Airbender, that they'll roll out a new episode, but then they'll also play a shitload of older episodes too. So sometimes you would have to sit through a whole bunch of old episodes in order to see the new episode. Which is fine, because you got to see more of your favorite stuff, but at a certain point, you can only watch the same episode so many times.
That's a bit like how that's actually kind of how I feel now whenever I boot up Baldur's Gate now, because it's like I love that game, but it's like I can only sit through Act 1 so many times, you know.
Yeah.
So you know what I started doing, which I actually figured out a way how to like circumvent being able to like go through that shit a bunch of times. I've just gave up on actually making custom characters, and I'm actually playing as the actual main characters. And in doing
Yeah.
so, you actually end up finding stuff that are unique to those characters when you play as them. So, like for example, I started playing as Shadowheart, and sure enough, I walk past a statue of Shah, and it's like, oh, your hand twitches, and it's like, oh, this is new, you know. So yeah, just start
I
playing
feel
as the
like
actual main characters.
I feel like in our friend circle, Shadowheart is the least cared about character, right next to like Gale.
It's I feel
Actually, you know what? No, I can't even say that because Gale like directly affects like outcomes of the main fucking plot. I think Will is probably the least used character by all of us.
Well, you know what I think it is too is these characters are designed in such a way where everyone appeals to certain people, you know. So you know, in our friend group, you know, none of us really give a shit about Will, but I know there are people out there that fucking adore Will, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just a taste thing because recently I've been like opening up to Shadowheart a bit more because like whenever I play the game, I don't really use her, Will, and Gale for the most part. And in my current like save file, that's like the furthest in the game I've ever been. I don't even have Gale with me because I started this save file a long time ago where I was like, I'm not gonna fucking let this guy eat my fucking shoes, you know. So, and I'm kind of regretting it now because it's just like, well, I've just lost a whole bunch of story, you know. So
To be fair, when you don't get Gale, the one thing that you gain is not dying a horrible explosion death from not doing his quest.
yeah, but it's not that difficult if you can't like. You can find the stuff in time if you just keep playing. So.
Yeah.
But still, like for now on, if I ever play the game, at least if I'm on my own, I'm gonna just play as the actual main characters because like I can only create so many dwarves and elves, you know, a bunch of times, and then you know just get
Or
stale.
Samuel L. Jackson women.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My fucking. I made like a tiefling that kind of looked like Samuel Jackson's like Pulp Fiction character, but it was a female. So I gave her like a beard and like the hairdo.
It
And
had it like I didn't even think that it had like it had the Jerry curl afro.
But what made it funny, and this kind of grossed you out, was like she always looked really sweaty, and I said to you, my character looks like she's constantly like stinking of bacon. It's just, when I said that, you was like, you fucking.
Because you weren't wrong. That character did look like, they smelled of pork.
Yeah,
It was pretty gross looking, not gonna lie.
yeah.
And it's not anything mean about Samuel L. Jackson. It's something mean about how you fucking design monster characters.
Oh yeah. See, I'm weird because when I make a character in a game, it either has to look really nice or really like putrid. So like, remember when like Street Fighter 6 came out and everyone was making those like freak shows.
Oh yeah, and you made like you made the gondola chest where his chest was like this huge fucking boat banana.
Yeah, yeah. So my first character had like a fucking gondola body, but like a tiny head, and then we had a friend who has like this like bald like avatar of himself. So then we just made that instead, and it actually, I actually still have that character as my main avatar in the game because I'm actually kind of attached to it. I'm
I have a
attached.
really
So,
I used to as a kid because it's funny having like a really gross character,
mhm.
but as an adult, I realize I'm gonna be stuck with this character for like 50 hours.
It depends if the game allows you to customize after the fact, you know.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause you
can't. I
can.
can't do it.
Because you can in that game, you know. So
It all honestly the whole like character slider thing for me started with Fallout 3,
no
and
kidding.
my favorite thing was to this is gonna sound so cringe, but my favorite thing was to like make a black character, but then bump the slider all the way up to white, so that way like the son looks like he's a white guy, but his dad, which is like based off of your design,
That's right.
is a
Yeah,
black guy
Daddy,
because you tricked the slider system.
Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would roleplay as like a kid whose parents fucked on him.
What
Like
does
they
that
fucked
mean?
They fucked around. Like his parents were having an affair.
You'd roleplay that your parents are having an affair.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I was a really fucked up weird kid.
You know, when you said it was going to be cringe, I thought you was going to be the guy who like names like female characters after girls you were dating at the time. But like,
I wasn't dating girls at the time. You want to know why I wasn't dating girls at the time? Two reasons. One, I saw all of my friends do it, and like
ruin their life.
the relationships would never last, and then they would turn into massive piss babies for a week. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And then the other problem, and this is a serious problem, was, I live in America and I don't have a car, and I live in the middle of nowhere in America. So if I wanted to get driven to my makeout session with a girl, I would have to ask my mummy to do it. Mummy, yeah. Can you drive me to pussy? Mummy. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, no, that's really cringe. I'm not doing that. Yeah,
no. I never really dated much growing up. I'll admit that. I don't know. It's just I don't find it that too important. That's why I always get. That's why it always like makes me scratch my head whenever like people kind of treat dating as like the be all end all. It's like when I told you that meme where it's like, yeah, I checked in with all my old school friends. They all got married, and then they disappeared. Then they came back all divorced and sad, and like we just sit in calls all day, just like chatting bullshit, and we just know everyone feels empty. It's just like, guys, there's more to life than just dating. Come on now, come on. I don't get
that's a thing that I had to explain to people in fucking film school, because almost every single person's short film was their loved one cheating on them, and then they get murdered. That was like every single like short film, and then to put the fucking icing on the shit cake, like if you really wanted to make a very bad short film, you would do that, and then what you would do is, guy's eyes open up, he jumps up in bed. It was a dream, but then the lady walks in the same way she did at the beginning, so it wasn't a dream, it's a time loop. Whoa!
Oh, he's so fucking...
Yeah.
That reminds me of... That kind of reminds me when I was growing up and I realised that a lot of songs I listened to were always about love, It's like, God, baby, why'd you do this? I don't even know why. Did I not make enough money? It's just like... It's always love songs. It's always about love. Why is it always love all the time?
Because it's a fucking... I was about to say it was one of the 4 basic food groups. But no, it's like... It's on the mind of creatives. They want fucking compassion. And they're also frustrated, so they also sing about hate. So it's either I'm singing about absolute love, or I'm singing about absolute hate, or when the love goes sour, that's when they make their betrayal song.
Yeah.
And the betrayal songs are typically the ones that make a lot of money.
I don't know, man. As a creative, I if anything, the frustration is just people not seeing my shit as opposed to love.
Because more people know the song "It Wasn't Me" as opposed to "Mr. Boombastic."
Right.
I have the sneaking suspicion that you don't know what either one of those are.
I know what bombastic is, ironically enough.
Yeah, but the song "Wasn't Me." But she caught me on the counter.
Oh, that song. Okay.
That song was fucking big.
That was everywhere, and it was everywhere. And I didn't even know what it was called.
Dude, it still pops up on the fucking charts once in a while.
How?
Because it'll get replayed, and then everyone all of a sudden just starts listening to it on their fucking Spotify or whatever. So it'll play on the radio or it'll play on TV, and then everyone will be like, "Fuck, I remember that song. Holy shit, it's really good." And then it on the top 100 chart, it'll just bump up to fucking 50. Yeah. This is a song from 2006, and it still goes on the chart.
That's funny.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but again though, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but just the whole idea that it's always about love. It's all about love and marriage. You can't have one without the other.
I'm gonna embarrass myself today. You know how cringe I was in high school? There were girls that started hitting on me, they would be like, I actually really do like the shape of your glasses. I think they're really neat. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all. So, anyways,
To be fair though, you're not like I have heard stories of people like kind of missing the initial moment where girls were into them, and then they kind of regret it because the one that I kind of said would be like, yeah, throughout most of my life, girls always made fun of me, so I just kind of told them to fuck off, and then. I remember one day there was a girl that walked up to me, be like, "Joey, I'm kind of into you," and they just looked at her and I went, and then just walked away. And then like her friend would like walk up to the guy and be like, "You were being a real asshole. She was actually pouring her heart out and she's like crying in the bathroom." It's like, oh, she actually was into me. Shit. But it's just like, you go your whole life being made fun of. You're not going to think the genuine, like, compassion is there.
Oh no, I had the complete opposite problem. Like, I just really didn't want to be in a fucking because you also have to think if like that car thing, that was a really big contributing factor. The other issue was that I lived on like the outskirts of town.
Oh,
I lived like really far away from everybody. So if the reverse scenario happens where she gets driven to my place, it'd be like sending your girl over to Dracula's house.
Yeah, I know. I can kind of envision the type of place you probably lived in if it was like the outskirts. So yeah.
It was a very nice suburban household in the middle of nowhere because they decided to plop they bought farmland in between two farms. Yeah. And then they were just building this subdivision in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Dude, where I live is kind of funny because like we live in a road where like the set of houses look really, really nice compared to the rest of like the town. And like I remember I got dropped off once by like a school friend, and his dad was like looking around being like, "What the fuck's this? Where the fuck are we? This is the fucking posh motherfuckers live here. Are you a posh stuck up twat?" And I'm like, "No." It's just like it's like our road looks generally like clean compared to the rest of our town, so I don't know if I looked out in that regard, but yeah, it's kind of a quiet little road in the corner.
I mean, I've seen pictures of it when you were like showing me your urban exploration phase.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like a really cozy village where you live.
At least the corner I live in, yeah, because
I know it's weird. Because you see the Google map and it's like just buildings, and then just like, oh, look at this beautiful, nice, cozy village in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it's a weird one because like to say it's a nice town is kind of a bit of a far-fetched statement. It's not. A lot of people that live in the neighboring towns keep describing this place as like a shithole, and I would disagree. I think the problem is that like in terms of like stores and shops, we got kind of nothing in that regard.
This is where some like listener who like is really good at 20 questions is like fucking like pinpoints and triangulates where we are based off our descriptions.
I mean, to say I live in a cozy village that could be anywhere in the UK. So good luck.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's why I'm being like very careful because I know that there are people out there whose expertise are like, look at the stars, look how they align. He must be in Arizona, So
there's some fucking like, there's some like Death Note enjoyer who's like, I must figure it out now.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. Like, it's not hard. It's like when I
showed you how easy it was.
Yeah, and before we go into this, we're not the type of people who dox people. We're just
I watched a lot of detective shows and read a lot of detective books when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And if you apply any amount of being a detective into computer shit, just be careful with what this is the big crux of the whole thing. Be careful with what you post online because you're showing that to a lot of people that you don't know.
Yeah, he's not exaggerating. Like, you generally need to be careful with like what bits of information you get. Like, if I said to everyone right now, oh yeah, I live next to a paintball place, there are probably people out there that are gonna scour the internet or like the UK, thinking like, okay, he said a paintball place, and he said a cozy village.
And he's got this accent, and then he also talked about a tree in the middle of like a fucking intersection, and he's like, that there's only got to be like 3 or 4 places, and then they'll be like, there he is, there he is.
Yeah,
it's a very dangerous thing. Not only that, if you're one of these people that like posts images right after doing something or while you're doing something, like, oh my god, I'm in so and so restaurant, look at this food,
yeah,
I am there right now. If you do that, you need to realize that there might be some people who are just waiting to burglarize your house, and now they know that you're at a fancy restaurant,
yeah, exactly, that
away from your house. So you need to be, it's weird how serious and how like how informative this just got. We were like, yeah, I did the black slider and fucking I did the black slider and thing because I found it funny as a teenager, and that now we're just like, listen, cybersecurity is really important. By the way, this episode is brought to you by fucking NordVPN. No, we're not sponsored by them.
Not yet, anyway. So
yeah, but no,
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. Like our podcast is very Wild West in the sense of like you don't really know what you're going to expect because the episode before, you had me like bitching and whining about video games sucking dick, and then
here's a really important thing, because there's 2 ways to hack somebody, right? One of them is actually going into computers, and that's really difficult, and not a lot of people can do that. The other one is extremely simple, and I would hazard to say that it's actually not even hacking, it's social engineering.
Yes.
If you can get somebody to just tell you what the password is, you skipped a shitload of steps, and no amount of NordVPN can keep you safe when you just give people the information freely.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like that one fat guy who died not long ago. There was a Mad Lads video about him. Yeah, like his whole like expertise was just doing that shit, where he would just trick like phone companies into just giving him access to the network.
Yeah, he would just bullshit his way into conversations, and like it's basically phone scamming now.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you need to buy a PlayStation gift card in order to like fix your Amazon account, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
if anyone says online that you need to pay them using a gift card, odds are good that, or if it's a website where you need to buy something and the only like way that you can pay is with a check in the mail,
yeah,
odds are good those guys are full of shit.
You know the funniest scam thing I've ever seen, because it was like a crypto kind of one. I was going through my emails, and you know how like obviously if it's like bullshit, it goes into the junk mail by default. There was one that I knew straight away was bullshit, where it started with "Hello pervert," and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one. And it was like, I have videos of you doing some things on camera in front of your computer. If you don't want this to get leaked to your friends and family, you must send me money to my crypto account. It kind of read like that, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll get right on that, chief. And I just deleted the email.
Yeah. I am less afraid of like the guys who say that they're big boy hackers, so you should respect them. I am extraordinarily afraid of my friend typing me a really weird message that he normally wouldn't, and then sending me like a link to a what are those, like a Google Doc account, because I'm like
Well, yeah, like, I mean, in fact, I could give you a good example of that. There's a guy that we know, and we're not going to name his name because we'll be able to, like, throw him under the bus. But the guy suffers from, like, crippling depression, you know? And, like, you know, he makes posts saying how, like, you know, work sucks and, like, he just wants to fucking, like, you know, bash someone's head in. You know, that kind of, like, you know, ordeal, you know? But
Yeah.
then there was one day when I got a message from him, and it was kind of out of character for him to message me out of nowhere to begin with, because we don't really talk, And I was like, "Oh, hey, dude, you okay?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good. I've actually been working on a game recently," and straight away I kind of raised an eyebrow, and I was like, "So this guy who's like got crippling depression's been making a video game, and this is the first time I've heard about it."
And not only that, like in previous conversations, he talks about like he doesn't understand programming.
Exactly, yeah. So he says that to me, and I'm like, "Are you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah. Check this out." And then like he sends me a link that looks something I've never even seen before. I'm like, "Fuck you!" Actually, fuck
Yeah,
you.
because people's accounts getting hacked. Honestly, you know what the newest grift for that is?
What's that?
So they'll hack somebody's account, and then they'll send you and a whole bunch of their like mutuals a message saying, this one is specifically on Twitter. They'll send you a message saying, "Hey, this other guy's. I was under the impression that your recent posts made it look like your account was hacked,
Oh yeah.
and I sent Twitter a message saying like this stuff, and they're in the process of investigating and about to delete your channel. So click on this link if you like. I'm sorry, you need to click on this link in order to fix it."
Yeah.
And I was like, using one brain cell. At first, when you read that, you're like, "Oh man, what if? God damn it! Now I have something to deal with. Now I got to fucking deal with this shit." And then you sit there for a moment, and you're like, "Wait a minute! If this guy did this, Twitter would have sent me a message
Exactly. Yeah.
saying that I'm on thin ice because they've done that kind of shit before." So
exactly.
why is this guy telling me this and not Twitter? And then of course like 20 minutes later, like everyone says, "Yeah, his account was hacked. Do not click on this link."
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful, because once again, NordVPN is not going to help you when somebody is just trying to get the information out of you that way.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, it doesn't matter how much anti like spyware you have on your computer. If you out of your own volition give people information, like and a lot of the time, if you actually do end up like finding out who it is, they almost feel no repercussions from that, because they use the legal argument that you voluntarily gave the information, so it's not their fault. Yeah. Even though they did it under false pretenses. So, yeah, you just be really careful online.
Honestly, to quote Omni-Man, think. Just think for a second. It's not, like, just think. Think about the person, think about their attitude, think about their behavior. And also think about who the fuck is this person to begin with, in case it's like no one you recognize. Just think.
Oh, if there were any older individuals who listen to our podcast because there's nothing else going on, apparently, you need to be more aware of AI video scams.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know if I talked about this before on here, but I recently saw one that was really heinous. It was a video of a cop in his cop car, and he's like talking about how you're getting screwed over by insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And you should just get, like, if you can't pay for it, the first thing that cops ask for is like, your license and registration for, and also your insurance. Wow. And the reason why is because even if we can't like get you on any of the traffic stop stuff, like if you don't have insurance, then we can automatically slam you at stuff, which is true. That's the scary thing, is on a technical level that is true. But then he talks about like this cheap insurance that you have to click on the link in order to get.
Yeah.
And I was looking at this, I was like, this is a really weird video. And then when I looked at it closer, I realized that the guy isn't real. Like, his lips aren't moving the same way, like what he's actually saying. And then it hit me. His hands aren't on the wheel of the vehicle, and yet he's driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, This
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 is
is like this got me to listen to the entire scam. Like
yeah,
this almost got it almost got me. So if you're an older person on Facebook, this could actually I could see 100% how this would screw someone over.
yeah, like, and that's kind of scary. That's also one of the reasons why, like, I don't know how I feel about like AI just being available to everybody because of shit like that, you know.
Oh God help us when they start getting politicians to say shit that they weren't.
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, that's why I theorize that one guy on YouTube disappeared because he made an AI of Biden when he was still president, and that actually wound up on the news. And I kind of have a funny feeling that there might have been some trouble he got into behind the scenes because he hasn't done shit in regards to AI since.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot which country it was. You know that like Johnny Somali
Oh,
guy
Korea.
that's the guy that's getting arrested in Korea for being just an absolute bellend.
Yeah.
That that guy, you know what actually got him like the 30 years?
Oh, I have no idea what happened.
He made like this shitty like comedy video that had like a deep fake in it.
Mm.
And what he didn't know is that yeah, because like Korea is a big like cyber type of place.
Yeah.
And also, you know, they constantly have to deal with like cyber threats from North Korea. They
Mm-hmm.
actually like they're one of the first countries to have laws against deep faking.
Oh, no kidding.
So he made a deep fake in a country where they heavily fucking like punish people for doing that.
They actually prosecute people.
They prosecute the shit out of people. So him getting arrested for being a dickhead is one thing. Him doing the deep fake is what absolutely screwed him.
That's insane to me. Like, Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
because a lot of people think it's like because of his behavior, and yes, you can get arrested for a really long time, but it was that one thing that they were like, nope, nope, that's a fucking felony in our country, baby, and you done goofed.
Yeah, yeah. God, this whole episode went from like fucked up characters to just like cybersecurity.
It went from me being a really cringe teenager who didn't know no better
To like
to
giving you legit advice about cybersecurity.
yeah. So if you actually made it past the the cringe,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I would. You know what? That's actually a question that I would love to ask my parents. What is the most cringe thing that you remember doing as a teenager? Because they didn't have the internet, but that teenagers are cringe just by the sheer fact of their existence.
They
So
are. They really are.
what did people do that was cringe? Oh, I can already think of one. Their hair in the 80s.
Oh god.
Like when you look at some of their like power perms and shit.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Oh, yeah,
there's no way my parents would admit to that. They won't ever tell me.
we really thought we looked like hot fucking shit, man.
Oh yeah, like
Or oh god, that or buying the newest Sony like Ghetto Blaster or whatever, and then realizing that it's pretty much like every other boombox.
you know.
There had to be some really cringe activities that people did in the yesteryear before the internet.
Oh, 100%. But I did have one last thing I wanted to like give to people in regards to like cyber advice, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So this is actually something that happened to us. This is a message to guys that do this. Just know that if you out of nowhere send people and invite to your Discord server, just know that looks suspicious as fuck, you know? Because that happened to me and you by the same person, where a guy invited us and we didn't even know who the fuck he was, and I'm like, what is this? And he was just like, oh, it's just my server, you're welcome to join it. And
So people who are not aware, Discord is kind of like Skype, where people can chat and stream to each other like what they're doing. Like we're using this right, we're using it right now because the big thing is that we don't have to do like international call rates because we're talking on the internet.
exactly,
right?
yeah.
See, here's the thing though. You can get if you make a server where people can go and chat. You can get these bots, which are basically just programming, and if you're a scammer, you can get it to steal all of the information as an executable.
Yes.
So if some random guy who's a hacker sends you a link to a Discord server and you don't know who they are, that's typically how people end up losing their accounts, because they'll find out what the information is, they'll log in to your account, change your password, and then start trying to scam all of your friends.
Exactly, yeah. So just if you don't know them, just don't do anything with it, because I had to chase up what the hell this person was, because they had like mutual friends, you know. So then I asked another guy, who's like, "Hey, I got sent this thing. Do you know who this guy is? He's on your friends list." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy's innocent. He's just an idiot." So
yeah, no, our friend group is pretty good at this, but one of the funny things is that we take that cybersecurity stuff so seriously that sometimes when it's like late and we just send each other like links to stuff, we'll send a message like, "Hey, can you do a call real quick, because this is really out of the blue and I just want to make sure this is actually you." That's how seriously we take this stuff. Because, I mean, not only that, this isn't the case for you, but, like, my livelihood is based off of, like, doing stuff on my computer.
It is.
So
yeah.
if somebody hacks my computer or something like that, or messes with my accounts...
Yeah. You're in a lot of trouble.
I can be in a lot of trouble because this is how I make the money.
Exactly, yeah.
There was that one time where my fucking Twitter got hacked through like an external third-party source.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, continue.
So I had a gallery website on this Japanese website called Pixiv. I don't have it on there anymore, mainly because of this. So Pixiv had this cool function where if you post it on Pixiv, if you click this little button, it will also make a post on Twitter. So I was like, oh, this is going to save me a whole bunch of time, because I don't have to post it on Pixiv and then also post it on Twitter. And when you post it on Twitter using Pixiv, it also links to your Pixiv account, so you can actually get your Pixiv account to grow, which is a really cool thing in concept. The problem is that it had really weak security.
Yes.
And what would happen is that somebody didn't even have to like break into your account. They just needed to hack that functionality, and then they just post a whole bunch of advertisements that you didn't post on on you know, your account. What happened to me was that somebody decided to post like 1,000 Ray-Ban advertisements for discount Ray-Bans, and at first people were like, did Daniel somehow get a sponsorship with Ray-Bans?
Well,
and then when I had 6 billion, like when I had a whole bunch of posts, they were like, oh, you got hacked. Okay.
Well, yeah, because this was at the time when I only really just met you, and I knew you long enough that you was a funny fucker. So at first I thought to myself, is this a prank he's doing? I mean,
everybody thought it was a prank, or they thought that I was seriously endorsed by Ray-Ban.
Yeah, and then what happened was, after like the 50th post, we were like, oh no, I think he might be hacked. And then what ended up happening was, we couldn't get in contact with you whatsoever. And then we was like, oh, I know someone in his personal life that he knows. And then we asked her to call you. And then sure enough, you weren't you like away from the computer for like a long time?
My girlfriend and at the time, like we started doing. She's my wife now, but we started doing this thing where we would spend a day out of the week absolutely together. No like computers, no phones, no nothing, and we still do that today.
Oh yeah,
but by the way, great life tip: have one day of the week where it's solely about family.
Yes, it's
great. However, once again, when if you're an internet personality, that's one day where if you do get hacked, you don't know because you're not paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of her friends, like you guys were like, oh, you know what? We know this one person. They actually have his phone. Like they have his phone number. So then I get a call and they're like, Hey, did you know that I am at a date.
Yes.
I am at a restaurant eating food with like girlfriend at the time, wife now, and they're like, yeah, unless you suddenly got really rich selling Ray-Bans, your account got hacked. And I was like, what? So I pull out my phone, I scroll through the Twitter, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Now, here's what I want to know, because you was away at the time from the computer. Did you have to rush home, or did you just carry on with the dinner? Like, because this is one bit of the story I actually don't know.
I carried on with the dinner, but then I was like, baby, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to fix this when we get home.
Yeah.
And she understood that because she saw that and she was like, oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah. And my God, that was like, are we talking? That was like 4 or 5 years ago now.
It's a long time.
I mean,
Long time ago.
to give you an idea how long ago this was, Kentaro Miura was still alive.
This was so long ago. I was still living with my parents.
Yeah. God, so much has changed.
I was still living with my parents, and I was still in that like D&D group that was awesome.
Oh yeah. So what's? Oh, yeah, yeah. God, so much has changed.
Yep. That's a story for another time. We'll save that D&D group story for a different podcast because
does that deserve its own?
Well, I imagine that like some people like because of like the nature of the fantasy setting of this comic, and the fact that we did like a little like module.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Of course.
They might be interested in like, oh, maybe I want to start a game.
Yes.
It's a story about how when you have a really good game, you go head over heels to try to keep it together, but there might be some problem players that make the game sucky.
Yeah,
and it's not even the game itself that gets bad. It's the drama surrounding the people at the table, because you are doing an activity with people, and the whole activity revolves around those people getting together and doing like role playing.
Yeah. I think I was guilty of being a problem player at one point.
Yeah, you were kind of a little shit.
Yeah, I was. I can't even like deny that.
Yeah, the our friend Sandwich, who that's going to be his name.
Yeah.
Our friend Sandwich ran a D&D game for the first time, and if he ever did it again and you were playing with us, he said that that Mickey Mouse shit that you were pulling off, like he'll punish you the next time.
Oh, that's fair. I mean,
you were being a very, very douchey little shit. To be fair, you weren't the worst player. The other guy was the guy that like didn't know what he was doing half the time.
I'm trying to think who that was.
The who might this gentleman be?
Oh, really? Okay then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he like through a lot of his stupidity and inaction, like he actually got like characters killed.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will admit, because it is that, because me being a bit of a problem player, that is definitely on me. I do think too the circumstances at the time, because I was going through a bit of a rough patch, like outside D&D, and that definitely like bled through ever so slightly. But there was a point at the campaign where I just was not feeling it anymore.
Yeah, to be fair, it kind of petered out. A lot of D&D games end up petering out because the guy running it is like, it melts your brain. I mean, you ran a D&D game. You only did like what, like 1 or 2?
We did 2 sessions, but the problem is the second session fell at a really awkward time because I was on holiday. Like I was like a week off from work, and the problem is like I have this thing, and I've learned about myself where there's 2 modes that my brain is in. There is work mode and there is holiday mode, and unfortunately, the time that I would have spent to plan out the D&D session was in holiday mode. So I just did not plan whatsoever because I was like, I'm just gonna fucking wing this and see what happens, and then, it went horribly wrong.
Unless you're a really talented dude and the stars are right, winging it almost always ends with a disappointing game. I gotta use the bathroom. It is an emergency. Wow. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Shall we? Oh yeah.
Nah, just give me a sec.
Okay.
So how's your day? No.
Yeah. You know what? Hold on. There we go.
You're here at last. Looks like the boss's info was right.
Alright then. Probably just gonna edit this out.
Twice now you've made me taste bitter defeat.
I am so sorry. This is the first time in the
to disappoint the
podcast.
Cobras.
Yay!
Oh, don't worry. I'll probably
But
just
you're
edit this bit
mine
out,
now.
so.
Yay!
All of
Woo!
you, leave
To be
us.
fair. Sorry.
If this somehow manages to stay in, my office is right next to the
It's just you
bathroom.
and me.
Really? That's
No one to
nifty.
get in our
Yeah.
way. Ocelots are proud creatures.
Oh
They
my
prefer
god, why? Oh wait, you know what? No, never mind. I know why.
Actually, you know what? Whilst you're doing that, should I get a drink?
No. I'm almost done, I swear. Oh, this is, yeah, this has to stay in now. This has to stay in.
Be careful what you wish for.
12
Man, you gotta be
shots.
shitting me.
Ba-dum-ts. Ba-dum-ts. Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone, and goodbye.
This time I've got 12 shots.
Love and marriage, can't have one without the other.
Oh my goodness, I know exactly why that happened. My mom, she bought me like this whole duck once because I talked about man, duck is really expensive, so she actually surprised because I like cooking. I'm actually really good at cooking,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh man, it would be really cool to roast a duck.
Right.
And she surprised me. She was like, "Here's a duck," and it has been in the freezer for about half a year, just sitting there. And I'm like, man, I don't want this to get freezer burn or anything. I think it's finally time to cook duck.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked it out of the fucking park. Here's the thing about duck, though: it has a lot of fat, and it is also very rich in sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
And if you combine those two and think about what that does to your internal organs.
God, I remember trying duck when I ordered Chinese for the first time, and I was like, "This is pretty good."
It is fucking expensive, though. And you know why it's expensive? Raising ducks is difficult. If it's farm ducks, it's very difficult to raise them. Because ducks are nature's absolute psycho animal.
Oh yeah, I remember once getting too close to a duck, and don't ducks make a weird hissing noise? It's something like that.
Yeah, and they'll bite you, and their bills, while not having teeth, are semi-serrated. So getting bit by a duck sucks.
Oh yeah, that'll fuck you up. Yeah.
The upside to getting bit by a duck is that they don't really eat, they're not really super carnivorous, so their bites aren't septic.
Yeah.
This is a thing that I learned about owning cats, is that cat bites have the possibility, not even possibility, cat bites are super septic. They will cause a really bad infection.
Mm-hmm.
I got bit in the arm a really long time ago. This was a different cat. The tiny little puncture hole eventually ballooned up into what I could only describe as a booby on my arm.
Oh.
It was really gross and it hurt a lot. And after that, I did research. I found out that because cats are carnivores, their bites are septic. Actually, this is another the Komodo dragon.
Oh god, yeah, those things are dangerous.
Yeah, those things because they're these carnivores, and they also eat a lot of rotten flesh.
Yeah.
their bites are like super septic. Like you'll get a really horrible infection. Because I knew this, one of our friends in the neighborhood, it was one of our neighbors, got bit by a cat, and luckily we told them this because they managed to get to a hospital because their infection from this cat bite got so bad that they almost were gonna like lose fingers.
Oh Jesus, was that bad?
It was
like getting
yes,
bit by a fucking
like
crocodile.
yeah, no, it's just like a big because a cat's teeth are like little hypodermic needles, so they can actually bite really deep into your skin and flesh.
Yeah.
And if it's prone to infection, they just got really deep in there with the infection.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you get bit, man, our audience is learning so much outside of like the poop break. Our audience is learning so much about like the weird life shit you would never think of.
There was a woman at work. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but no, if you get bit by a cat, immediately start treating that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a woman at work who she's left now because she'd been there for like years before even I joined. She got bit by something, and bear in mind I said something because she has no idea what the fuck it was, but it fucked her finger up and she had to have it amputated. To this day, she has no idea what bit her because she was in the garden and she reached into something and it just bit her. So it could be a rat, could have been a cat. She never saw it. So, and I never saw the finger after the fact, but I could tell by the glove she was wearing it was like floppy, the middle finger, so yeah.
Oh, that's the worst finger the friendship finger?
Yeah.
I love calling it the friendship finger because like me being the little shithead that I am, like people give me that finger a lot and I just say the friendship finger and it just immediately starts making them crack up.
I thought he was going to make a joke about having like lonely nights now.
No. Oh my god.
Yeah. Man,
you took that in a way different direction.
Well, yeah, because you said the friendship finger, and I was thinking about a film where a girl gets her two middle fingers blown off. She's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have a lot of lonely nights now." Like it was like I thought that's where he was going.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna flick the bean. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought he was on about.
Fool. No, that's not what I was on about. Man, you took that in a really like hypersexual direction. Lord have mercy.
Fucking. Yeah, fair enough. You know what? I'll interpret it how I want to. You interpret it how you want.
Let's agree to disagree, my friend. Let's agree to disagree.
Christ, but no, that's good. That's not good.
I hate when I say that.
What? The thing I said, or like when you says agree to disagree?
Yes, I whenever I go out of my way to say that I flick my own bean, you fucking fool.
Shut up.
No, yeah, I was talking about.
So yeah, cybersecurity. Anyway.
Cybersecurity, flicking beans. That's the name of this episode.
Cybersecurity and flicking beans. Okay, yeah. All right then.
Yeah, my favorite McDonald's meal. Anyways.
So yeah, we're still looking for a sponsor. So
Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends, eat your heart out.
Yeah. This is about cybersecurity, and one thing that always pisses me off is when I go into a website and they just take my information. So
That's why you should get Delete Me. Delete Me is the foremost expert, and we're gonna end up killing all of our like sponsor possibilities by just making fun of them directly.
Yeah. Well,
which really stresses me out, and the only way that I can really, get over my stress is with smoking cigarettes. Which is why my sponsor today is Fume. Fume is
I am inclined to agree with you, but one thing that always like grinds my gears is like the facial hair that I often have in like places I don't even want to even conceivably think about. Which is why I think about manscaping.
Around your bean, no less.
Yeah, around my bean. So like I think about all those times, where you have to go through an enchanted forest. So then let me thank my new sponsor, Manscaping.
Manscaped is the... You know what I hate about all of these ads?
Yeah.
There's two things. One of them is people who do tutorial videos and the ad takes up like 90% of the video.
Oh yeah.
And then, because it's like an older tutorial video, like the ad doesn't even function anymore.
It's like null and void. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing that annoys me. The other one, and this one is like the worst one, when an ad like Honey or something turns out to be a scam.
Oh yeah.
And then because like the video that you liked watching was during that time period, you're going to be watching a video like, this is how the Roman legion was able to like, have these awesome supply lines. Speaking of filling out your supply lines, Honey is an app, and you're like, oh, this didn't age well. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think, you know one. So there's that, but then there's also videos I've seen in the past where the way they implement it is like really cringe. So, like, there was a guy who made a video. I think I might have mentioned this in a previous episode. He made a video about a mod for World at War, the old Call of Duty game, where the mod was basically like historic accuracy restored kind of thing. So the German soldiers dress kind of more appropriately to where they are. It's like stuff like that. It's actually a pretty nifty mod.
It fixes the uniforms. It fixes what the grenades looked like. Yeah,
and it was a pretty nifty mod if you like that stuff. However, there was one part of that video that was really cringe, where what he did was he mixed the a certain part of the campaign with the advertisement. So it's like, much like this thing, I hate when this happens, just like how the Japanese are displayed here incorrectly. I really hate when, I walk outside and this happens, much like this, Arasaka that's a bit, poorly designed. It's just like, oh, this is cringe. This is actually cringe. And then, but the thing that I find hilarious was, like, people were, like, shitting on me for it, and he apologized, but he kept, like, copy and pasting the same comment over and over again to all the people that addressed it, to the point where if you're just copy and pasting the same message, it doesn't strike me as genuine. It just strikes me as, I'm just trying to save face,
Well, here's the thing, and I believe that he probably just... First of all, this is called ad integration. This is when, instead of having, like, a skippable ad, you add an ad into...
the video.
It's called ad integration. But the other thing is, he probably didn't realize that with YouTube videos, if you make one post in the comment section, and you want everybody to read it to, like, let's say that you pissed a whole bunch of people off.
Oh,
you can make one put. You can just pin it.
Yeah, highlighted pin comment. Yeah.
Yeah, you pin comment it, and then it goes right to the top, so everyone can read it, and it's highlighted, so that way people can they know that this is an important thing that people should read.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Because I think this was some time ago, so I don't know if that was like either a feature or he just generally didn't know.
At the time that video was made, it was a feature. He probably just didn't know or care.
Yeah. I mean, he never did that again, for all I remember. So I guess he did kind of learn from it. But still, it's such a tough. It's a cool video until you get to that moment where it's like really cringe. And speaking of adverts, this isn't quite related, but I was originally last night going to watch a film, but the way I was going to watch the film was a bit awkward because. I was looking up, because, recently I've been, looking into Stephen King stuff, and I remembered that years ago I did actually watch the film Carrie, and John Travolta's in that film, and I was like, is this his first film? And I looked it up, and it was actually his second film, but it's his first major role. And I was like, whoa, what's his first film? It was something called, The Devil's Reign, I think it was called, with William Shatner. And I was going to watch it because someone just uploaded it to YouTube. But then what ended up happening was when I used the YouTube app to put it on my TV, because it was an hour and a half long video, it would just play an advert every 10 minutes. And I'm like, I am not watching a supernatural horror film where every once in a while I get interrupted by a fucking L'Oreal advert. Yeah, so...
That it is almost impossible to be on the internet nowadays without an ad blocker.
I know, and it sounds ironic because we were talking about getting advertisements, but it's just no.
Well, that's one of the reasons why people do integrated ads, is because so many people have ad blockers. People pay the video guy directly to put the ad in the video, and as bad as ad integration is for a lot of videos, because it kind of just puts the entire video to a halt until the sponsorship is over.
Yeah.
I get it, and I understand why it's done, right?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
and not only that, a lot of the times the ads are like related to the video, or if the video creator is really good, he'll integrate the ad or the sponsorship very well.
Mm-hmm.
These fucking skippable ads are so bad. I was like, there was a time period where like I wasn't really like in the best headspace,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna resort to like watching some cooking videos, some really nice like Japanese cooking videos, just because like it's just cool hosts, and I get to learn how to cook something, so it's useful, and it'll calm me down from this funk that I'm in.
It's quite therapeutic.
And I got an ad for a psychological horror movie where like the first line in the ad is, yeah, you should kill yourself. And I'm like, I was like, oh, because I was like, you know what? I really like this creator. I'm going to turn ad blocker off so that way they can get money off the ads, because you know what? As a guy who has a YouTube channel, you really don't make that much money off the clickable ads.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna support this guy. I'm gonna turn it off. Immediately, boom, kill yourself. And I was like, and you know what?
Yeah.
This wasn't even the creator's fault. It's YouTube's fault.
Well, yeah, because an advert is the ultimate tonal whiplash. Like you said, like you had Kill Yourself when you wanted to watch something nice. I had L'Oreal when I wanted to watch something that was about people dying. It's like yeah.
That, or oh god, there was that time where who made Apocalypse Now? That was he made the Godfather movies.
No, yeah, I can't.
Francis Ford Coppola. That's what he made, that new movie like Megalopolopol.
Yeah.
Mega something.
Yeah.
And the advertisement for it was like, it did that thing that new trailers do where they have a micro 5-second trailer before the actual trailer, because that's how bad people's attention spans are.
Yeah.
That micro trailer before the trailer had flashing red and black lights. I don't have epilepsy, but it actually gave me a head. So I'd be watching a video and bam, instant headache.
That's the. Oh, I got one that's just as bad in my opinion. And this does. I don't know if this happens still, because I got ad blocker on. The worst, something that I think is just as equally bad, is when you watch you go on a video player like Dailymotion, YouTube, and you have your audio turned down, and it saves your audio that you kept it on previously and on the previous page. The worst is when the advert doesn't cater to your audio, so you'll just get hit by, like, I remember the one that always stood out to me was an advertisement for Fanta. You had this guy, this like little like chibi thing, screaming at the top of its lungs, moving around, and it was
you just get jump scared. You get jump scared by the ad.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I had a headache too. I had like such a bad headache, and I was just like, oh. And I could give you another one as well. This is like a secondhand experience from someone, but I can only imagine how frustrating it is. I was talking to a guy who said how when he puts his baby to bed, he puts on a show or something. I think it was on like Amazon Prime or something like that, and he was like, yeah, I have the audio turned right the fuck down because obviously I got like a baby that's sleeping, and then this advert comes on of a fucking washing machine like rolling out of a fucking like semi truck, fucking loud, like boom boom boom, and it wouldn't cater to like his audio settings. It's just like, 10 years ago I wouldn't have minded, but the problem is I have a fucking baby that's trying to sleep right now. It's like,
oh dude, so DeviantArt for a while, I don't know if they still do this because I use ad blocker. DeviantArt for a while had these like little video ads that were in the corner, and they would just play. So
audio.
I would be looking at art, I would just be like, or reading people's stories, and out of fucking nowhere, like, I will hear this fucking banshee scream for a fucking horror movie, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I would be looking around my fucking room like, is there a fucking ghost? Whoa, what the fuck? And then I'm looking at my computer because I'm like, oh my god, did I get fucking hacked by like a fucking screamer pop up or something?
Yeah.
No, it was just the advertisement. I got absolutely jump scared by this ad that I didn't even know was like a feature of the website. So that was one of those like moments where I'm like, yeah, no, fuck ads. I'm gonna solve this problem right away.
Dude, you want to know the moment when I got an ad? I decided to get ad blocker when I was younger. It was around about 2000.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Hey, ad blocker, fucking sponsor us.
Yeah, the irony. Yeah.
They take donations. Give them money. They do good work.
Yeah, I think I threw something towards them once. No joke. Do you want to know the reason why I ended up getting ad blocker initially? This was back in 2013. Do you remember when the Tomb Raider game come out, the reboot one? That's like the now kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I will admit I was on like an old computer to begin with that couldn't really keep up with like the modern like internet, you know. But I remember going on YouTube and I was like, oh my god, YouTube is so slow. What's going on? And then I realized at the moment it would go really slow was when like an animated Tomb Raider advert will pop up on the side of her like sitting in the rain basically. And I was like, this always seems to happen the moment that like, you know, that advert pops up. I'm gonna try this ad blocker to see what people are on about. As soon as I got that, perfect. Smooth as fucking eggs. And I was like,
I was like, not only that, like, as somebody who's been on the internet for so long, there was a period where like either ad blockers were like, you know, really dodgy and like possibly scams,
yeah,
or they were really hard to download because it was actually an application that you would have to download instead of like just a browser plugin,
like an extension.
Yeah, so there was a time period, I remember I think it was because of Blip TV with like the Channel Awesome stuff, like the Nostalgia Critic. What I would do is I would find all of the videos that I wanted to watch, and then I would press play on all of them, so that way it would play through the opening ad, and then I would pause them, bring them back to the beginning of the video, and then I would watch the video. So basically, I would manually ad block.
That's fun. That's good. That really goes to show you that like if you have to like go out your way to do something simple to have something work, like you know there's a problem.
Yeah. And you know, once again, like the ads are important because, you know, if you want the guys to make videos, they have to get money in order to, you know, live. But man, some of those ads are so atrocious. It's really hard to like get through them, man.
And then, you know, there's also the added like bullshit on top of like YouTube where they have a weird double standard where it's like, yeah, no sexual content. Also, here's this like big flappy like anime girl, you know, shooting guns and shit. It's just like,
I mean, we're history buffs and we like talking about history. Anybody who is like a history buff channel, they have to dance around the fucking Germans from the 1930s and 40s. We actually have to cut out whenever we like talk about those individuals because YouTube has such a horrible like policy where even just saying them automatically like puts your video on a shit list.
Oh yeah, like you could get
and yet YouTube will like have ads about Wolfenstein or like some new World War II movie where like the advertisement itself has the big fucking like angry peace windmill.
Exactly, yeah. So what's that saying? Is it like don't piss on my leg and tell me training or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's for some reason when it's an ad and they're making money off that, or like, you know, a lot of people during like the adpocalypse got their channels screwed over for making certain jokes.
Yeah.
Like, and they were really innocuous. And then the television hosts have their own YouTube channels, But because, they're making YouTube millions and millions of dollars, they can do the same exact jokes and get away with it.
Yeah, and so it's getting to this point where it's like, you're innocent if you're rich, and it's just like, fuck off, fuck you.
It's the same. It's the same. It's the same problem that Twitch has right now, where
Oh yeah.
If a guy makes like a joke that it's too risque, he loses his like ability to stream for weeks, and then like a lady will just have her tits out and just get banned for like 5 hours.
Yeah, it's just like the double standard. I don't even know if it's a double standard anymore. It's just favoritism because, like, again, I'm sure that Jimmy Kimmel, could get away with, whatever he wants to say, and then if we do the same thing, we're fucked. So, I do generally think that you're innocent until you're proven rich is like starting to become a thing.
So that Johnny Somali guy, he was a
Oh shit, my dad's back.
real life streamer where he walks around the streets and he streams from his phone, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He did all of his stuff on like Kick. And what a lot of people are realizing about Kick is that not only can you get away with doing a lot more risque content, they actually pay out better than Twitch.
Oh no.
I do not like Asmongold. I don't like him for multiple reasons, which are very obvious once you actually see who this guy is. If you like him, you know what? You do you. You can watch whatever you want. It's a free country. My big thing though is he had a stream and then he simultaneously casted his stream on like Kick, and he made almost 3 times the amount of money on Kick.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is, even though Kick has this like reputation for being the place that has, pretty much everyone that, funny enough, got kicked out of Twitch, it actually offers more.
Twitch has gotten so bad that Moist Critical almost exclusively, like, his main streaming platform is YouTube now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Everyone like flocked to YouTube for a time. Yeah.
Well, and he's still, just because of how poorly Twitch is mismanaged, he's just like, yeah, you know what? I'll still stream on there, but that's not going to be the main account. I'm going to just do it on YouTube.
That's a bit like how I feel.
That's insane, considering how like bad YouTube was for a lot of content stuff.
Yeah.
If your regulations and your enforcement is worse than YouTube, you fucked up.
I was gonna say
you fucked up bad.
Because it is funny because like that's kind of reminds me of my way of I look at Twitter, where it's like I fucking hate Twitter. I think it's a shit website, but I do understand the importance. So as of now, I still post towards it for like different things, But
man, they're really testing our fucking patience with Twitter, man.
They are like even like, I mean, not only that too, but like I am actually kind of feeling it with my other like escapades, because like the last few things I posted to like my other accounts, like I've got like almost like I've produced what I think is some of the best drawings I've ever done in a long time. They had no response whatsoever, not even like likes. So I'm just sitting there thinking like, did people fucking leave Twitter? Because I'm getting like fuck all to the point where I don't even know if it's even worth posting on here anymore.
A lot of the people who enjoyed art left Twitter to either go. Honestly, weirdly enough, they either went to the obvious one, which is Blue Sky, and that's its own kettle of fish, because the amount of like political activism that's on there is really difficult to avoid if you're not. If like I'm not a big political like movement guy. Like, once again, like if that's you do you. That's perfectly fine, because you're expressing your grievances and your thoughts on government.
Yeah.
That's whatever. The thing is, though, is that if I want to see like art of like cute Japanese anime girls like eating cheeseburgers or whatever, I don't want to see a video of a riot cop like shooting somebody with a 40 mic rubber bullet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's that website's problem, because it can just blindside you with political activism. The other one that a lot of people flocked to was actually Newgrounds.
Oh yeah, that was also because of the Tumblr thing as well.
Yeah, well, Tumblr fell apart, and a lot of people left, and then moved to like different websites and Newgrounds. Newgrounds has been around for a really long time, and their policy on you can make whatever you want, but it's judged on by the viewer base.
Yes.
Keeps a lot of slop from being on that website.
Yeah, it's the way they curate their website is really interesting. It almost feels like foreign to me in a way, because I'm just used to like bullshit.
They like YouTube used to be broadcast yourself. They got rid of that.
Yeah, the slogan's gone.
Yeah, Newgrounds from like 1990 whatever, whenever they actually got made.
Yeah.
To this very day is everything by everyone.
Yep.
And when oh god, remember when like on YouTube like animators got absolutely screwed over by the new like monetization policy?
And then like the reply girls too.
Yeah, they just got absolutely wrecked. Newgrounds was still there for them.
They were, yeah. They really were.
Newgrounds was still fucking there, and it was still like a valid. And the cool thing about Newgrounds too is that it's almost exclusively for art. So there are no live action like videos on there, which is great because people can't make cheap slop videos. They can't make like a billion like 4-hour long videos and then just post them.
You know,
the irony there is a little bit hilarious, considering that we are doing a podcast.
I know,
like every other schmo, but at least we're making something.
Oh yeah, I mean, if anything, the podcast is just tacked on. But the funny thing is like, do you know another website that's really
well? I mean, if we were just sitting here like every episode, like an hour of silence, nobody would fucking watch this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to watch it either. So
Yeah, exactly.
But what's sad is like there is actually an art website which has a really good functionality. The only problem is it kind of got hijacked by furries. Is Itaku. Itaku's really good, but again, it's got a reputation because like furries flock to it, and it's not a furry website, but if you just browse that website without any filters, it's just furry stuff, and it's like not safe for work as well. So
yeah, so like you could be like, I wanna see like landscapes, and then all of a sudden you just get boobs, like bam, right there.
If only it was no. But yeah, like,
this is my character. He is a wolf. He has a schlonger the size of the Empire State Building.
It changes color depending on his mood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rainbow popsicle.
Yeah.
Bring.
That's always the one that always makes me laugh. It's like, he can change color depending on his mood. It's just like, what's this fucking like Dragon's Tail bullshit?
No, he's fucking Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
He's Captain Wiener.
Captain Wiener.
He's a hero. I don't want to finish that sentence now that I was about to.
Careful what you wish for, punk.
He brings erections down to 0. I don't have a problem with furries. Furries are like, a lot of them are pretty cool people.
Furries.
But man, a lot of them are also cringe as fuck. But you could say the same exact thing about any other group of people.
Dude, like, it's
and
so...
you know what's just as bad as furries?
Oh yeah.
Guys who know every single statistic about football.
Oh yeah, the classic like, you're a fucking nerd. Also, when Barsley Malarkey did this goal of 87.
Yeah, his run in 87, like, I just feel like nobody's ever gonna like meet the same amount of yardage. Personally, I think that it really like depends on where like people like commit to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and you're just like, that's just about as cringe as this is Sesshomaru, my wolf character.
Yeah, the irony.
He's married to Naruto, and it's just as like. Same amount of cringe.
I find it like just heavily ironic because again, like, you know, you make fun of us for liking D&D, and then you tell me fucking stats of like Al Messi. It's just like you cannot make fun of me for that.
Yeah, that or well, like we were the original Star Wars nerds, and then it got co-opted to, hey, this is the culture of everything now,
Yeah.
and now you get to see like really big buff guys complaining about how Star Wars sucks. We started complaining about Star Wars back in the day, and it wasn't cool. It was nerdy as fuck.
You know what? Like, there is part of me that should be happy that like the things I like is mainstream, but you know what? No. I would have been made fun of for liking Captain America, and now it's the cool thing to do. So no, I'm not going to accept this.
Captain America was like the fucking Marvel version of Superman. He's like truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah, but back then you would have been made fun of for liking Superman too. So it's just like there is part of me that's like I should be happy that what I like is mainstream, but I'm not, because it's like I had to go through ridicule and now it's acceptable. It's like fuck off. This is my turf.
I think the only sorry, I was making sure the cat wasn't like knocking something over.
Yeah.
The only character, the only superhero, there's two of them that it doesn't matter who you are, it's acceptable to like them.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is one of them. The other one is Batman.
Yeah, I think those are like the two titans of both their respected like comic book publishers. Yeah. And I think because like crossovers too. Because
anybody but Batman isn't really that much of a superhero. The thing that it's ironically it's a detective comic.
Yeah, DC Comics, Detective Comics.
Yeah, well, no, if it's DC Comics, it's Detective Comics.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just thought when you said that, I just think of Black Noir, which is basically just black.
Yeah. That or translucent man. Translucent means it's semi-transparent. You idiot.
But that was definitely by design because that show is full of psychopaths.
Well, yeah. God, yeah. The boys comic book.
The original is shit. It's actually like dog shit.
It's really bad. The show, it's probably one of the best examples of a show doing better than its source material.
Oh yeah, like, because when I found out it was a comic, I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised that a superhero thing came from a comic, but I was just like, I'm morbidly curious about this because this show's awesome. And I was like,
you did the natural thing of, I didn't hear about this before, and now they're making a show. I'm gonna read the comic.
Yeah. Big
mistake with the boys.
Well, I didn't read it. I had someone summarize it in a video, but I was like, wow, chat, wow. I was just like, this is actual dog shit.
Once again, I was a cringe teenager. I actually did read it.
Oh no.
I did read it back in the day, and I was like, oh, that's so fucking epic. And then eventually, I became an adult, and a lot of the goofy shit that I used to do just like gone.
Yeah.
But when I heard that they were making the boys show, I was like, oh, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, and then
that's gonna suck so bad.
And then fast forward to now, and much like The Witcher, like TV show Homelander is its own like force of nature that's actually been in a few other things, like fucking Mortal Kombat. So it's just it's really I guess it goes to show you that you can approve on shit.
Oh, you can. No, you can approve on shit. The problem is that Hollywood keeps remaking, like, almost perfection. That's the problem. Yeah. Whenever they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna remake Total Recall," you're like, "But the first one didn't suck." Because a lot of people say, "Oh, but the Thing remake is good." Yeah, the 1950s movie Thing from Another World is not that good of a movie.
Yeah.
The only thing that's good in it is when, like, all of the scientists get together and just Molotov cocktail the shit out of a real room. That's probably the only reason why you would ever watch like the original thing from Another World is because they actually light people on fire in that movie.
That's epic.
It is pretty fucking cool, but 90% of it is like it's that really bad 1950s like the scientists are in a room. Look at this beaker. Oh, that's really spooky. Oh, did you hear that noise? We'll send some guys over to check it out. And then like one of the guys gets killed, and then they'll do an autopsy. They're like, look at his body. Like it's this weird. It's a lot of scientists
Yeah.
just talking to each other. It's one of those movies. So when they remade the movie,
Yeah.
they improved on the shit that was good, and then cut out all of the stuff that was fat.
That's good. So that's how you do it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Oh god, there was another like, there was a movie that I was surprised that it was a remake.
What, Scarface?
I can't remember exactly which one it was. It was based off of like a really old thing, and I was like, huh.
You know, I could tell you one that was a genuine surprise to me was apparently there's actually an older version of Scarface. You know.
Yeah, Scarface is a remake.
Yeah, which has kind of got me morbidly curious, but I will admit I might be heavily biased because of Tony Montana by Al Pacino is kind of like cultural osmosis to me. So.
And you know what? The story of Tony Montana in the
original,
you know, the famous version,
yeah,
is his story. Even though it kind of follows the original movie a little bit,
yeah,
is actually more based off of Al Capone.
Okay, so they borrowed more a bit from that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still hate that film?
Now that I understand, now I watched it again. There are certain movies where I'm like, I don't understand why this is culturally good, because this movie fucking blows. One of the biggest issues that I had with the movie is, you know, if you have a criminal empire, you kind of want to actually like marry your family close to like everyone else.
Yeah.
So that way you create like an insular community of people that you can trust.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that happens is Tony Montana like kills his best friend because he's eyeballing his sister.
Yes.
And for a really long time, I'm like, you know, for a movie that's supposed to be about like, you know, organized crime and stuff like that, that was like a really like stupid thing, and I don't understand why his character did it.
Yeah.
Then I watched it again, and it clicked for me. The reason why Tony Montana does that is because he is sexually attracted to his sister, and the reason why he had to like escape Cuba is because he got arrested for, you know, doing weird stuff or wanting to do weird stuff to his sister.
Oh, okay. So that explains, because I see that little bit. Because I knew there was like he had a thing for her, but I didn't know it went to that extent, to the point where he had to leave Cuba.
They don't fully spell it out, but like when he goes to his mom's place, the moment that he starts to get into a little bit of money, the way that his mom is sheltering his sister, at first you're like, oh, the reason why she's doing that is because he's a criminal, and he doesn't want the mom doesn't want her to go into like a criminal lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's actually because he wants to diddle his sister.
See, oh wow. So there's actually.
And then at the end of the movie, when like he's loading up the fucking like machine gun for the famous scene, like she shows up naked in front of him. This is what you wanted, huh? You wanted to fuck me, Tony? Huh? You wanted to just fuck me? And then she's like trying to shoot him.
Yeah. Yeah, she just loses her mind.
It clicked for me then. I'm like, oh, he's he's a horrible fucking person, and that's the whole thing. It's like the movie is about showing that like people who do this kind of lifestyle are fucking like crazy. They're crazy people.
Yeah.
And even though they have a whole bunch of glitz and glamour and stuff, at the end of the day, they're these horrible criminals. And it's also a story about like how when you reach a certain level of success, you start to get less and less friends.
Yeah, because you know,
to the point where eventually you're all alone.
I mean, that could happen. Yeah.
And when I watched that movie again, I was like, because it is really cheap and cheesy looking, and also the push it to the limit.
It is kind of cheesy. I mean, even though I sing it, I'm like, this is so cheesy. yeah.
Walking on the razor's edge.
Flashback to the yayo.
It has that movie. That movie has a Rocky montage of them laundering money.
Yeah. But still, like, you know, I can enjoy it. I can get behind it. But yeah, like, it is like cheesy as hell. But still. But yeah, no, I mean, you get.
But that watching it again like that put that movie in a completely different light for me.
Honestly, like, you saying about how, you know, they make it abundantly clear that these are like awful people is what's like really pissing me off now about a lot of modern writing. It's like that like new Saints Row game where the people do bad stuff, but then they're like, oh, we're good people because we only rob people that like kick dogs and stuff. It's just like, no, that's not how that works.
No. You see, the way that you write a really evil character is that you make them human. Right. Because then you could be like, you know, this is like me, or like this is exactly like my friend group, but this is a group of people that got pushed into doing this stuff.
Right.
And even though you would never like try to emulate it because it is like a morality tale, like what compels you to watch is the fact that this is just a regular ass person doing these horrible things. And you know, so whenever like you get like a weird BuzzFeed article or something like Tony Montana is actually bad, it's like, yeah, no shit, that's the whole premise of the fucking movie. Yeah. It's like not every character needs to be a role model.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I mean, here's the thing, you know, I played Saints Row 2, and you know, this is probably the worst example of a game with like good storytelling, because it's not the best storytelling, but like, your character in that game is a piece of shit. Like, you actually are a piece of shit because you're a fucking criminal, you know. Like, you know,
they make it abundantly clear that you're like the head of a criminal organization.
Yeah, you're a street gang, you know, and in a game like that, it makes sense for your character to be an awful piece of shit because you are, you know. Like they've your cat like to give you an idea how like this character you play as has no qualms of like doing stuff. Near the end of the game, when like the military like police try to get you, you know what your character does? They're at a bar and like there's like you know, the bartender's in front of them, like, you know, just chatting with them. Your character grabs the bartender by the neck and throws them in front of you to like use as a human shield, like just a random bartender, because they're a piece of shit, you know. They would just use anybody as a human shield, you know. It's just like, yes, and then you fast forward to the reboot game where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna rob a place to pay for rent, but don't worry though, the guy who owns the store kicked a dog once. Like, they actually say that. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this a parody?
Listen, if you're gonna like, if you're going to make something about crime, own up to the fact that it's. I mean, you know what? Perfect fucking example to round this podcast off. The characters in Quentin Tarantino movies in real life would be some of the most monstrous, horrible fucking gangster people ever. But the fact that they're like human beings and they're talking about going to the movies or like eating cheeseburgers or like, you know, it humanizes them in a way where you're like, well, he just like straight up murdered a whole bunch of people while they were waking up. But I can see a human being getting to that point in their life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the whole opening of Pulp Fiction is them, like, cruelly and seditiously killing everyone in a room. But, like, you like the characters because he humanized them for 10 minutes of them talking to each other while they're walking up to the apartment.
Well, yeah, because you also see a bit of the car ride where they talk about, like, you know, what's a Big Mac called in Paris? You know, a Royale with cheese, you know. It's like, that was also a scene that stood out to me in Reservoir Dogs, was when you see the backstory of like the cop, you know, like how one of them was it Mr. Orange was like the police, right? The cop, the undercover cop.
Yeah.
Like, you see him mingle with like White and Eddie, you know, before the whole like, you know, bank thing. And, you know, they're talking about like a cop with like, you know, a black woman, you know, in like a TV show, and it's like, oh yeah, there was like that black cop where she's like, you know, you're in arrest, sugar, you know. It's just like, It humanizes them. Like they feel like people, and they're awful human beings.
And they don't have to justify their evil.
Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of movies is like, oh yeah, well, he's an evil character. We have to explain to the audience why they're evil. No, somebody can just be evil.
Yeah.
Somebody can be just an evil piece of shit. But that, like, it's a thing that Arlie Ermy said. It's like, being a drill instructor is an act. Could you imagine if, like, somebody was just like a drill instructor 100% of the time in their fucking life? That person would be put into a psych ward.
Yeah, because the whole point of the drill instructor is to, like, harden you for the fight. That's about it.
Yeah, but, like, that's his job at his job. When he goes home, he has a family and kids and, like, all of this other shit that goes on. He goes to the grocery store to get food. He's not gonna do that shit, like, at the checkout counter.
Where's my gun?
So,
yeah.
So, like, the idea that, like, a hardened criminal is a massive piece of shit all the time, like, they probably have family, they have mothers, they're probably okay in certain regards, but they are evil pieces of shit, and you don't have to justify it in, like, some weird way where it's like, oh yeah, well, like, his fucking friend's head exploded, or, his fucking cheese sandwich fell over and that's why he's crazy. People could just be like that. And I guess, like, the big thing is a lot of writers just can't seem to understand why that is.
I mean, you could also argue too that they probably don't have fucking lives as well. So,
that's just a given.
Yeah. I mean, another thing too, what I really liked about the Reservoir Dogs one is you also get to see, like, because Mr. Orange, it was an undercover cop, right? One little detail I liked as well was when they're, like, trying to figure out, like, a TV show. Well, I think Eddie's like, yeah, I think it was, like, Pam Grier, right? And then he's, like, correcting them. Like, he's, like, overly correcting them all, and they're all just like, yeah, whatever. Like, they just, like, they just talk about it, whereas because him being him, he's kind of like, the one that's probably going to be overcorrecting, and I think he realizes it in the moment. He's just like, oh, I'm kind of being that guy, in this group that I'm trying to, like, blend into,
Yeah, because, like, before that, he was told that he needs to take care of all of his, story and alibi and stuff. He needs to, like, pay close attention to detail, but that bled into his regular conversations.
Yeah, and God, that film's so fucking good.
It is really good. Fuck it, I think we should rewatch it. And with that, I think this page is pretty much done. Thank you all for if you're still here, Jesus, thank you for sitting through it. Y'all take it easy.
Yeah, you all take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.